Hello, hi, my name is Mo. So, a few days ago, a week ago or whatever, I posted a tutorial for the first little part of Screech's Tale by Ren, and now I've figured out the rest of the song. I thought I would do a full tutorial, because it is a really, really, really great song, and yeah, I thought I would help people who wanted to learn it. I've already done a tutorial for the first part of the song, but I thought why not kind of just start from the start again and then go all the way through. So if you've already seen my first tutorial, you can just skip ahead to this time here. I'll put a time on the screen somewhere to where you can skip to. My guitar it's actually my dad's, and he had it since he was like 12, so it's very old, and some of the screws are loose, so it sometimes makes rumbly noises. Just ignore that. But anyway, so you pluck the G string and the E string, both open, and then you put your finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and you slide up to the 4th fret, back to the 2nd fret, and then you play the G string open, and this is all on the G string. So it should sound like this. And you only pick the E string on the first note. And then after that, it's you put your finger on the 4th fret of the D string, like that, so. And now that is 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the G string, and 1st finger, or thumb, on the 2nd fret of the E string, like this. So it should sound like this. And now you go up to the 5th fret on the G string, and you slide up to the 7th, and then back to the 5th. And then you go down to this shape here, which is thumb on the 3rd fret of the E string, and your other finger on the 4th fret of the G string, like that. So far it should sound like this. And now you slide all the way up to the 12th fret, and then down to the 11th, and this is on the G string. And now you go down to here, and this is G string 5th fret and E string 4th fret. So I'll go from the beginning again, and it should sound like this. And now you put your finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and then the 2nd. So, and then you go back to the 4th fret, still on the G string, and you go 4, 2, A. So it should sound like this. And now you go to the D string, and it's 4th fret D string, 2nd fret D string, and then open on the D string. So it should sound like this. And now you go up to the 5th fret on the D string, and then you go 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, open, and this is all on the G string. And now you go to the D string, and 4th fret, 2nd fret. So if we go from this shape here, it should sound like this. And now we go up to this shape here, and this is 3rd fret on the B string, and 3rd fret on the E string. The B string, you go down to the first fret and then open. So you go, and then you go onto the G string and you play the second fret on the G string, and then you play the G string open like this. So it should sound like this. And then you go up to the D string now, and you play the fourth fret. So it should sound like this. And then you go back to the G string and you play it open, and then the second fret. So, and now you play an A chord and you strum it down, and then you pick the G string and the D string, and then you go into this shape here, which is first fret on the B string and third fret on the A string. So you play that, and then you play the third fret on the B string and then the first fret, so, and then open, so, and then you go up to the G string and you play the second fret on the G string, so, and then you go into this shape here, and it's you bar on the second fret, and it is an E shape, so like this. And then you pick the G string and the B string. Not B string, sorry, D string. And then you move it up here. So same shape, but just moved up a fret. And then, so you strum that, and then you play the G string, 5th fret, and then down to the 4th fret, 3rd fret, and then back. So 5, 4, 3, 5, and this is all on the G string. And then you go back to this shape, which is the E shape barred on the 2nd fret, and then you pick the G string and the D string, and then you swap to this shape here. So it's barred across the 2nd, but your finger on the 3rd fret, the D string, and 3rd fret on the B string. And then you move that up, and then you play the 7th fret, B string, and you wiggle it out of it. Yeah. So that is the first part of the intro.
Hello, it's Mo from the future. I was just editing and I realised that I never played through what we just went over, so I thought I would play it through now. I'll play it slowly, so if you want to kind of try and play along, you can.
But anyway, on to the next part of the intro. You play the E string open, and you play it quite loudly, and you let it ring out while you play the next bit. So you go. Now this is all on the G string again, and it's 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4. So all on the G string with the open E string ringing out. I might be looking down a bit. I've had to write down some notes so I don't forget what to do, because he plays this bit so incredibly fast that I would forget if I didn't write some notes down. So you start off with your thumb on the 2nd fret on the E string, and you let it ring out like this, like we did on the kind of first section. And then you put your finger on the 3rd fret on the B string and you kind of pull off, and you do the same on the 1st fret. So, and then you move to the G string on the 2nd fret and you pull off there as well. And then you move down to the D string and you pull off there as well, still on the 2nd fret. So, and then you go back to the G string and you pull off the 2nd fret again, and then you go back to the B string and you pull off from the 1st fret, and then you go back to the G string and pull off the 2nd fret again. So it should sound like this. Except much sped up, but I'm gonna play everything slowly so you can see what I'm doing. For this bit, you play the 3rd fret on the E string and you let it ring out, and then you move to the G string and you play the 4th fret and then the 2nd fret and then the 4th fret. So it should be like this. And then you move up to the B string and you play the 3rd fret there. So. And then you go back to the G string and you go 4, 2, 4 again. So it should be like this. Okay, and now this next bit, you play the 5th fret on the E string, and then you go to the G string, 5th fret as well, and then you go up to the B string and you go 4, 5. 7, 8, 5. So it should be like this. And now, after you've done that, you go to the 8th fret on the E string and the 7th fret on the high E string, like this. And then you go to the 5th fret on the high E string, so, and then on the B string you go 8 fret 7th fret, 8 fret 7th fret, and then you go back up to the high E string and you play the 5th fret again, so it should be like this, and then you go back to the B string and you go 8, 7 again, and then you go back to the 8 and back to the 7, so it should be like this. And now you go to the G string and you go 8, and then you go to the D string and you play 9, and then go back to the 8th fret on the G string. So it's 8 on the G string, 9 on the D string, and then 8 on the G string again. Sorry, that's a bit of a mouthful. Okay, so it's like this. And then you move up 2 strings so that you're playing the 9th fret on the G string and the 8th fret on the B string, and then you alternate between these 2 notes like this. So you alternate 4 times, slide down, so it's G string on 8th fret and B string 7th fret, and then you alternate between those 2 notes 4 times, and then you slide up again to the 9th and the 8th fret, and you alternate 4 times again. So that bit should sound like this. And then you play the open E string and the 9th fret on the G string. So, and then you kind of wiggle it a bit. So if I was to play it from here, it should sound like this. And that is the whole of the intro. So this next bit, it's a lot easier, it's just the chords. I'm not going to sing it with the chords because I only finished figuring out this song a couple of hours ago, so I haven't practiced singing along with it. So I'll just tell you the chords and you can work out where to change. It's quite obvious. That sounds bad, but you know, it's often quite clear where to change the chords. So for the start of the song, you start on an E minor, a bar chord E minor, so that's 7th fret, A minor shape like this, and then you move to an A, that is bar chord A again, 5th fret barred, E shape, and then after the A you move to a C, so you keep the same shape but you slide up to the 8th fret, and then the last chord in that progression is a B, so again keep the same shape but slide down to the 7th fret. Now I've shown you the chords, I'll explain the picking pattern. So he plays the bass note of the chord and then plucks the rest of the strings, so. So that is the picking pattern for that. He's sung the intro. He knocks on his guitar like it's a door, and then there's the bit where he's like, "Patrick, man, let me in," and the chord progression to that. It's all power chords. The first power chord is an E5, and that's E minor shape, I guess, but you're only playing the top three notes. So, and he kind of strums it like this. Then he moves up to I think it's a G5 power chord. Yeah, G5, and that's same shape but with your first finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, like this. So, but you only strum that twice before you slide down to a F sharp 5, I think it would be, and that's the same shape but you just move it down one. So it goes like this. So he repeats that until he gets to the end of that. This next bit is a bit more picking. You start open E string, and then 9th fret on the G string like this, and then on the high E string it's 7th fret, and then 8th fret on the B string. So it's, and then you play the 9th fret on the G string again, and then you move down to here. So it's 4th fret on the G string, and then 3rd fret on the E string, and you play those two together. And those two notes were 2nd fret on the high E string and 3rd fret on the B string. So, and then you do a hammer on and pull off. So O, 2, O, like this. And then you go back to the 3rd fret on the B string and back to the 4th fret on the G string, like so. So he goes. So you repeat that until the end of that section where you just go. So that is, after you finish that, there's the phone conversation he has where he just kind of talks into the phone. So then after that it's verse 2, and that's the exact same pattern as what we just played, which was that's the exact same. Okay, so for this next bit it's when Screech is yelling. I'm not entirely sure if I've got the chords right in this bit. It was quite confusing because he was kind of singing and yelling quite loud, so I couldn't hear the chords as much, but I'm pretty sure it's E minor and G, both barred. E minor like this, and then G, barred on the 10th fret, A shape like. So you kind of repeat between those two until you get to the end, and then that's the Richard bit. And now this bit, you're not doing as many bar chords. You start off with an E minor, but except it's the low E minor, and then you move to a G, but except instead of being at the 10th fret, it's barred on the 3rd, so that's E shape, 3rd fret, and then move down to F sharp, so E minor, G, F sharp, and you repeat through that. And then once you play the last F sharp, you go and you play this chord here, which is an E6, I believe, and that's 1st fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G and A string, and then the E string open, like that. And then, after you've played that, it's where he's shooting the bullets, I guess, so it's you mute the strings, the hand across there, and then you just strum down. And that's the sound he makes for the bullets. And then after that, you're onto the outro, and this is exactly the same as at the start. On the 7th fret, E minor, and then A, then C, and then B. And you repeat that through, and then he plays the last chord, and I'm not sure what the last chord is, but I think it's a C9. So that is the entire song. I hope that helps. It is it's a pretty complicated song, but it is absolutely brilliant. So I hope that this video helped you kind of play it. And yeah, if you've got any questions about what I did at points, just leave them in the comments below, and check out all of Ren's music because he is an absolute genius. But yeah, I hope you have a good day. Okay, goodbye.